3 straight wins for the Dallas Cowboys. Just for a little comparison, it took the Cowboys till week 14 of 2020 to get 3 wins or past 3 wins. So the Cowboys certainly off to a great start here in 2021. Here's what head coach Mike McCarthy had to say following the win over Carolina.
All right, David.
Mike, can you start with that burst in the third quarter offensively and defensively for you to turn the game around?
Definitely. I think we came in at halftime, obviously felt good about a lot of things that were going on. It was just really third down. We were spending a little more time on than you normally do because both offense and defense, we were on the wrong side of it. So I think, if I recall, I think they were 4 out of 5, for 80%, and we were I think 2 for something. I can't exactly. So. And I think once we got going there, because we felt really good about our pass rush defensively going against their protection unit, and I don't think they converted the third down in the second half. So our guys are playing so hard. I love the communication. This was a game. Actually, it was good to get some pressure schemes to go against offensively. They hit us on the first one, the middle dog cross on the first play of the game. So. We need that. We haven't seen a lot of pressure this year. So I really like the way the game flowed, obviously the competitiveness of it, but a lot of adjustment football, and our players and coaches are doing a great job with it.
Trevon, did he start complaining about the tightness of the back? How serious is it? I know
he could have returned. I think Rich said he could have returned in the game, if needed to. So I know, it's something that I think he got a cleat on it because I talked to him at halftime, so it was bothering him at halftime.
You talk about the level he's playing and both of those interceptions, especially the second one where he's thrown.
Player of the month. Working on second month of the season. He's he's playing with phenomenal confidence. Obviously took the big responsibility today, watching their top receiver and deliver with two huge plays there in the second half. So. Playing at a very high level right now. It's awesome.
Offensively, you got it going with the ground game and with Zeke and Tony. And Zeke had the big runs. This is the product that he's talked about being in better shape and quicker than in past years. Yeah,
obviously this the only experience I have is last year, and I think just as a whole everything's better. I think just the understanding of how we want to run the football, the commitment to the run. These last 3 weeks has been outstanding, and it just so many good things come off of the run game. So, and just to have Zeke and Tony just to bang all day. It's obviously it's a real strength for us these last 3 weeks.
You talk about the 2 decisions to go for it on two.
To go for it on 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was after the penalty that put the yard line on the ball on the 1 yard line. So that's frankly it's something that we practice. It's all part of our situational football emphasis, and and then there's a point in the game. At some point in the third quarter or fourth quarter, you trust your go for 2 chart. So that was the second one.
Like they've been really good against the run, Carolina, and they bring a lot of pressure. Was there something you guys saw that made you believe that you still would be able to run the ball, even though they've been so good at stopping it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's once again they've played well against the run, but we've been running very well too. So I just think their pressure schemes, getting in and out of different defensive personnels. Our guys are doing a great job identifying it and keeping us in clean looks. As far as proper blocking angles and that's and Tony and Zeke are getting clean looks to a 3-man surface, particularly, and you can see the ball going back in the A gap. So I just we're hitting a pretty good rhythm right now. It's early. We've only played 4 games, but I really like the way we run the ball here in the last 3 weeks.
You're talking about.
So Mike McCarthy echoing a little bit of the same sentiment that we talked about earlier in the show of how physical this game had to be for the Cowboys to come out on top. And you got to give a lot of credit to the trenches because it felt like a tug of war between the first half, back and forth. It seemed like Carolina had an inch and then Dallas had an inch. You went back and forth for a little bit. But, Nate, what was the key to getting the offensive line back into form in that second half to build a little bit of a lead?
After last week, we know it needed Tyler Biotish and McGovern, Connor Williams to play well. They played well, man. It was gaping holes. Zeke was running up through there, man, looking looking like his old self, swagger with a lot of swagger, bringing back to eat and everything. I mean, it was a good job by those two guys. We know who Zach Martin is. He's all world, all everything. Steele has been playing consistent. Smith, we don't even mention Tyron Smith's name, but those two guys we've been on, these guys played well. I don't know what Coach Philman did, what he whispered in their ear, what he promised them for a couple of honey buns, but they did their job, man. They did their job, and these two running backs took advantage of it.
Yeah, they did a great job imposing their will on the Carolina Panthers right there. I mean, especially in the second half. It seemed like they were just leaning on these guys. In the first half, Zeke had to battle a little bit, in those first couple yards. The second half, those holes were gaping. Zeke did what he did best, grounded and pounded, and beat these guys into submission.
So Joe Philbin whispering in the ears of the offensive line and then offering them honey buns or the success to a Cowboys third straight win. When we come back, let's hear about the defensive line. We hear from Randy Gregory, who had a couple of sacks in the 36-28 win over Carolina. Welcome back to Cowboys OT, where we continue to break down the Cowboys' 36-28 win over the Panthers at AT&T Stadium. Let's go back out to Arlington and hear from Randy Gregory, who finished with a pair of sacks.
It did. Felt decent. I think that was a product of, us rushing as one, like we like to talk about a lot. I truly believe, the stats are going to come for each and every one of us, if we play as one, rush as one. So.
How impressive is what Chauncey's doing, considering he didn't really have a training camp?
I mean, it's real. I think that's one of the things that hadn't been talked about the most. He's, I don't know, our rookies, I've been here since 2015. I was a rookie also, obviously, and I think I did things a lot different than some of these rookies are doing. But, it's real refreshing to see those guys come in here and make the impact they've made and pick up, the playbook and just the speed of the game as fast as they have. I think that says a lot about our front office and our coaches and the way they can develop young guys, and says a lot about the veterans, making sure the young guys are locked in, says a lot about the young guys being locked in. So, it's nice to see that, and we're expecting them to continue to take those leaps throughout the year.
What kind of role is Diggs on?
Diggs? I don't know. It's Diggs is funny because, I told him before the game, I was like, I need one. And he's like, I'm going to get you two. I'm like, all right. So he got that first. I was like, we're good. He did his job. And then he got that second one. I didn't even know he picked it off. I'm like, did he really pick off another one? And I was like, oh, my God. And Cam Irvin actually came up to me and told me, he's like, man, he got another one. So it was I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the record is. What is it? He keeps on a roll like this. I mean, he'll have it by mid-season. Shit,
11 in the season.
Really? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's nice to see. Like I said, I think it's a product of us playing as one. You know, you get after the quarterback and do that over the course of a game. He's going to throw some ops up there, and our DBs are doing a good job locking up the wide receivers, getting a lot of PBUs, and obviously getting the picks.
Yeah, how much pride? It's not the interceptions aren't just because of the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of a lot of times a lot of pressure. What you just talked about.
Yeah.
So you take pride in those INTs just as much.
Definitely. I mean, all three levels. Not just D-line and the secondary, but I think I'm not going to say those plays don't happen if we don't get to the quarterback, but definitely we expect those to happen when you get after the quarterback. And our secondary is playing lights out. We really want ball hawks out there, and even with the big hit, I forget who it was, KZ maybe. Yeah, I mean even that, you get some people get mad about that. I thought it was a clean hit. You want to see that in the secondary. Guys going to take your shots and try to make some explosive plays out there.
What was that about that pass run?
So the third multi-sack game in the career of Randy Gregory, and the first time he's done that against a non-NFC East opponent, because the first two were against Washington and Philadelphia, and now he had a couple sacks against Carolina. Now, he mentioned the physicality of the defense and the ball hawks in the secondary. DeMonte KZ had a big game again, almost had an interception in his own right. What do you think about how physical this defense has been through the first 4 weeks?
I love it. I love it. We talked so much about culture and the change that was necessary. Obviously what Dan Quinn brought into the team, and you're seeing that effectiveness happen here within this unit. These guys are flying around. They're playing simplistic defenses, but they know exactly what they're going to do. And I know my guy next to me had the crystal ball in terms of the man y'all just heard from, so I'm going to throw it to him.
You know what? I tell you what, man, Randy Gregory, I'm proud of you, man. You had a great training camp. You went up against Tyron Smith. You had your opportunities to get whooped. But today you brought out the whooping stick and you took it to Mr. Irvin. He got, 2 sacks, and he got a face mask against him. So he had a hell of a day, man.
What allowed him to be so successful? Because you're being very humble right now. You had said it all week long that Randy Gregory was going to have a really big game against Cam Irving, but how did he convert?
Well, he was explosive. The first time they got it with a game, they got him with a game. They hit the tackle out, the number 11 out, and he came around inside and busted up the center with those longs on. The second sack he got, he took him upfield and came back inside, and that's what I saw in Cam Irving. He's the same guy. He don't have feet. And you took him deep into those deep waters, and he couldn't hang with you. So that was a great thing.
Fantastic day from the defensive line. Dak Prescott had another good game. Only 188 yards passing, but 4 touchdowns. We hear from QB1 next. Dak Prescott showing off the ultra efficiency throughout the Week 4 win over the Panthers. Just 188 yards passing, but 4 touchdowns and an over 130 passer rating in the win. Here's what he had to say after the game.
You talk about the confidence this offense is playing with right now, and you had that opportunity in the third with Steve making some plays where it's just, do you realize the moment you can take over a game and do it, and that's what this offense is now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, we think we can beat you at the run, we can beat you at the pass, whatever you're going to give us. The openings, we're going to take them. I mean, Kelly's doing a good job of dialing it up, and guys are just communicating and executing it. But I mean, even tonight, we left some meat on the bone to say. I mean, we left some plays out there, and some. We want to finish that game with another touchdown on one of those last two drives. So I mean, that's just the expectation and the standard of this offense.
Amari played through a little bit today, hammy, and we'll just talk about the type of game he played for you, especially on that touchdown catch.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fighter, resilient. Just obviously that he had the double move there and didn't get the bite I wanted on the corner. But I mean, I saw Amari Cooper up the sideline one-on-one and said I'm gonna give him a chance. I felt like I missed him in the Chargers game, so I told him I owed him and wasn't gonna miss him there. And I mean, he went and made a great play. Him one-on-one with anybody, I'm gonna take that matchup. And as you said, to play through what he played through, just to do it, whether it was blocking or whether it was just getting open, that just shows the selfless play of him and just this team.
Really quiet. It's 4 touchdown game. You ever had, I guess, 180 yards pass? You had a couple of runs, but.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize I didn't even break 200. Dang. But yeah, I guess so. I mean, but that's kind of the strength of this offense, getting the ball in these guys' hands, and you see what they can do afterwards. And then what Kellen's dialing up. I mean, the play to said, we took advantage of something that we did in the first half to come back and use it against them, and then Spring set open for that touchdown. Dalton later. Yeah, I mean, just being able to mix it around and get in different guys' hands, and all of these guys are greedy. They know the next guy's going to go try to make a touchdown if they don't get theirs with their opportunity. So, as I said, that's the strength, and that's the plus of it.
How did it feel to run an open field? I mean, you had a couple of runs, 19 yards. How did it feel to be out there running?
Yeah, it felt good. I don't feel like I've moved that fast in a while. One of them I was trying to, should I get out of bounds? I think I can get some more. But, no, it was good. I mean, just doing whatever it takes to win. That's what presented itself on that play, and just had to go get it.
Showed you that ankle's fine.
So Dak Prescott didn't have to do a ton to win this football game, and that's exactly what you want to see. I mean, that's when the offense is clicking on all cylinders, when you're able to get the run game going, stay efficient in the pass game, and really work behind your offensive line.
No, you just said it, Kyle. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see out of Dak. I know everybody loves to see the big numbers from Dak, the 300-plus yards, 400 yards. You know, some people like to see the 58 attempts. We don't. We like to see 20 to 25 passes out of him. We love to see, 200-plus yards on the ground. Be efficient, be effective, move the chains, score touchdowns, get a W.
Yeah, this is exactly the type of offense that's sustainable. I mean, we went out there that first game, like you mentioned, 58 pass attempts out there. That's not going to be able to sustain the whole season. Right now, we got an extremely great balance, close to 200 on the ground. Dak Prescott, extremely efficient, 14 for 22, 4 touchdowns, 130 rating. I mean, this guy is playing extremely efficient, and he's putting this offense in the best position to be productive. That's what you like to see from QB1. Dak Prescott, he's doing his thing today.
He definitely has that offense rolling. Here's some of the numbers from the win today. And, I mean, first downs, 24. That's a sky-high number. That's become really a norm from this offense because they're so efficient. These drives continue on for such an elongated period of time. And then you look at the balanced rushing yards, 245 yards on the ground. Are you kidding me?
Man.
I mean, how dangerous is this offense right now, Isaiah?
They're very dangerous. Somebody needs to lift the doggone little clear button and push the red button because these boys are a problem. Anybody that plans on facing the Dallas Cowboys, get your mind right because Kellen Moore is in his bag, and every time he comes out there, whether it's a third down or whether it's a fourth down, he is going to test you. He's going to test you. He's going to continue to push the envelope, and guess what? His guys know that they have trust in each other. These guys are making plays. They're moving the chains. I'm proud of them.
And as a defense, how do you prepare for these guys? I mean, look, they can ground and pound you into submission like we saw these last 2 weeks, or if need be and they need to attack your secondary, they got the weapons outside and the quarterback who's an extension of the coaching staff to go out there and do the damage that way. So I see this team as being extremely balanced, and it's going to be hard for defenses to go ahead and prepare for these guys each week in and week out.
Especially when Ezekiel Elliott is able to run the ball like he did today.
Yes.
Another career game for Zeke. We hear from him when we come back after the break with more Cowboys OT. Dallas Cowboys with a 36-28 win over the Carolina Panthers, and it was the first time for Ezekiel Elliott going over 140 yards on the ground since Week 10 of 2018. Here's his thoughts following the win.
Ooh, what's going on? Good, man. That always catches me up when I say what's up to someone. They be like, "You."
Zeke, what was the big difference in the mentality of the team coming out in the second half?
I mean, we just knew we had to go take care of business. So I mean, we came out hot, came out with our piss hot, came out ready to go win that football game.
How many things have to go right, blocking everything to hit a 50-yarder like you had there?
Yeah, especially in this league, a lot of things have to go right. You gotta normally make a guy miss. But I mean, the O-line, they dominated the line of scrimmage today. By the end of the game, those guys really didn't want any more to run. I mean, we run for 250 today. But I think we got a real nice system going right now. Just me and TP in there keeping each other fresh, and I think we're gonna keep this thing going.
I don't want to say surprised, but I mean they had the #1 rushing defense heading into this game, 244 yards. I think just impressed by I don't know how easy y'all made it look today.
I mean they're a good defense. They bring a lot of different fronts to the table. They're going to run a lot of different things, so they're going to change it up on you. So it's kind of hard to kind of get a beat on what they're going to do. But they hadn't seen an offense like us this year. And so, I mean, we came out, we played good ball.
Zeke, obviously, you're one of the handful of names people can pick out any day of the week. But what does it mean, and what does it say about this team after 4 weeks that we're starting to hear names like Wilson and Schultz and Basham and Golston and J-Ron Curse? What does that say about this team?
It says a lot. We've been saying this since the beginning. We're deep. We're deep at every position. I mean, we even got some guys injured right now. So, I mean, just ability for us to go out there and everyone play well. No one has to take too much of a load. No one has to put too much on themselves. All we have to do is play with each other and play for each other.
You mentioned
Zeke following a big game is must-watch television in his interview, and maybe sometimes it has a parental advisory at the same time, just depending on what kind of mood he's in. But he was in a great mood there, and he gave a lot of credit to the offensive line. I mean, the physicality, we've mentioned it throughout the show, it was apparent, and kind of like how you said earlier, Carolina didn't want any more of the physicality toward the end of the game.
No, they didn't want any part of it, and obviously they wanted to go on vacation. They wanted to get away from this thing. And obviously you just heard Zeke said he gave him yellow snow. So these guys did a great job offensively. Obviously, everybody's going to look at the stats and see Zeke. But what comes before Zeke is the big fellas up front. And they took care of their assignments. You just heard him speaking about the versatile fronts. And when you're facing a defense that presents a lot of different fronts to you, a lot of guys at the second level in terms of Shaq and some of those other guys that are going to come down and fill gaps, you are going to give a lot of credit to your guys up front for making those holes, because these holes were Red Sea oriented. And Zeke did a good job of running through them.
You know, when I look at the game, Coach McCarthy always say, you know what, it's one thing to run the ball, but to know when it's coming. That's when you know you're good. These guys are good. They've been consistent these last 2 or 3 weeks. Kellen Moore has had the nerves and to do it, and they've taken advantage of it. Zeke, man, like fine wine, it only get better with time. Believe
now,
that.
The play calling has certainly opened up because of Kellen Moore, and it's opened up Zeke to have some more freedom, I think, in this offense. But he's looked different this year. I mean, and even you heard Greg Olsen talking about it. The guy looks like he's slimmed down and he is quick.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of work that he's put in this offseason, a lot of his highlight reels and Instagram or whatever else it may be. He worked hard. He lost weight. He got a specialist that helped him with his cuts. That's the aspect of his game he felt like he was lacking. So guess what? Take the Michael Jordan approach. Something you're lacking in, make it your strength.
You know, when we was in training camp, out there, he was taking like the old Zeke. He'd take the ball, run 25 extra yards, even after the play, the whistle was blown. And this is the guy we saw today, that 25 extra yards, every time he had that ball in training camp, showed up late in the game today.
There were a lot of players that played a huge role in the win for the Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, one of those. Trayvon Diggs was another one, as he had a couple of key interceptions, now up to 5 on the year. We hear from one of the top corners in the NFL. Yeah, you heard me right, when we return on Cowboys OT.
Cowboys OT was brought to you by Geico, 85 years of savings and service. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
Before we wrap up Cowboys OT, we have to go out to AT&T Stadium and hear the post-game reaction from Trevon Diggs following his 4th and his 5th interceptions of 2021.
Don't get rattled by the fans over there. Now you're playing in front of 80,000.
They've been doing that the last 20 minutes.
Trey, what's your definition of a lockdown cornerback?
Darrell Revis. When he out there playing, that's somebody that I really watch and really look up to. You know, he's my definition of a true lockdown corner. So, him.
How do you, if you were watching this game today, you think you made him feel proud?
I hope so.
Can you just tell us what happened with your back, or did you have a back injury? What happened in the fourth quarter?
I was just having back tightness. Yeah.
So it was just all cautious.
Something that came up early in the game?
Yeah, early in the game.
Did you get stepped on?
Something like that.
Something like that. Could you have played throughout if needed?
They wanted to hold me. Just didn't want to risk it. Just had back tightness, bro. So,
you know, you've had so many interceptions now. It's still kind of a surprise guys are throwing your way. Are you expecting that maybe they could just stop throwing your way?
No, I don't want them to stop throwing. Keep throwing. I need more.
Can you describe the confidence you're playing with, given that you were responsible for half the team's turnovers at this point?
I just feel like, I'm just reading my keys, just, being me, playing, how I'm playing, just trying to play at a high level and just, just trying to win.
You jumped over the receiver's back and just break down that play.
Say it one more time.
When you jumped over the receiver's back to get that one pick, break down that play, what you saw, that kind of stuff?
Just read my keys again, seeing the receiver, seeing the quarterback throw the ball, and just broke on the ball. And I actually almost dropped it, but, I had to juggle it and bring it back in. But, I was just reading my keys and just making a play.
That was the second one, right?
Yeah, that was the second one.
What happened? What did you see on the first interception?
The first one, we was in a zone, and I was just, kind of reading the quarterback, seeing him turn my way, and he threw it right to me.
Do you have the attitude that the ball's in the air is mine as much as theirs?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like if they throw it and I can get it, I'm going to get it before he get it.
How much time do you
Trevon Diggs, the second player in team history to record 5 interceptions through the first 4 games, joining Chuck Howley in the 1968 season. Here's the final stats in the 36-28 win over the Carolina Panthers. First loss of the year for Matt Rule's Panthers after they started 3-0. The Cowboys have now won 3 straight after falling by 2 in the opening week against the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cowboys firing on all cylinders at this point, and they've got one more home game against the Giants next week before they hit the road again. Isaiah, what are your thoughts on this win?
It's amazing, especially as we're talking about defensively and Diggs, he needs to give a lot of credit to his front seven. These boys are getting home, and that's exactly what a Dan Quinn type of defense, right? The front seven gets back there, adds some pressure to the quarterback. The quarterback throws either inaccurate or ill-advised passes, and guess what? Your cornerbacks, you reap the rewards of it.
Yeah, these guys are playing winning football right now. They got a winning formula added up right now. They got the defense who they kind of a bend but don't break system. When they get into the red zone, they find ways to stop them or take the ball away. And then you got an offense that's hitting on all cylinders, whether it's running the football, passing the football. These guys are extremely efficient right now, and they got the winning formula.
Cowboys with 3 wins on the season, and now I mentioned that matchup next week with New York. What do they need to fix going into that one from what you saw in this game?
I think you're going to take a look at everything. I'm not sure that you really put your hand on one particular thing. There are some opportunities that may have presented themselves where you got away with some potential fumbles. We definitely need to shore that up so that make sure that doesn't carry over into any future games.
Yeah, they got to hold on to the football. I mean, we got extremely lucky out there with that Dalton Schultz fumble, that early on fumble that led to a Dallas Cowboys touchdown. But we got to make sure we hold on to the ball, continue to take the ball away defensively, and that'll work. But we cannot get away with these fumbles as the weeks progress.
You always look at quarters of the NFL season along the way. Now, you do have an extra game tapped on to the end of the regular season, but through the first quarter, 3-1, that's a pretty good start, Isaiah.
I'll give it an A-.
Wow. A-. Okay, we're giving out grades. Why an A-?
I think A- simply because of these guys. There's some opportunities they wish they had. Tampa being one. Let's keep it going.
Very, very quick grade.
Oh, yeah, I'm giving them an A+.
Okay.
I mean, that's
I'm
simple
A+
as that.
here as well. For Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton, and Barry Church, I'm Kyle Yeomans. That does it for Cowboys OT. The Cowboys win it over the Carolina Panthers, 36-28, the final score.